The Archie and Lily card backfired. The king flatly rejected Meghan and Harry after the ghost children's secret. Hello, and a very warm welcome to LVT News YouTube channel. As we already know, Meghan Markle and Harry are trying to hold King Charles over the fire when it comes to Archie and Lily bed. But a royal insider has reported the kids are used as a punishment. King Charles and manipulation of Harry, and it will end up backfiring. Meghan and Harry didn't get their way, so they ran away from the country. And there is probably some narcissistic satisfaction that King Charles has grandkids that he cannot visit. Oh, he's not the only one being punished, though. Thomas Markle is as well. They believe that they are trying to punish Mr. Markle and King Charles, but they're also punishing their own children if they're real, because these kids are losing this important time with their grandparents. You know what? Some of my best childhood memories are with my grandparents. I love spending time with them. They let us get away with whatever. They spoiled us rotten, and I will always treasure those moments. And it's also sad that Archie and Lily are missing out on time with their cousins. I mean, if the kids are real, they have to be so lonely. They are missing out on so many. I would guess Meghan is telling Harry Williams, children are treated so much better. See, they only care about George and Charlotte and Louis. It is the same way they preferred William over you your whole life. And this is why Harry believed that he was only conceived for spare body parts in case William needs something like a kidney. That is not even the way the medical transplants work. But I guess there's a lot that Harry doesn't understand. And they are demanding an apology from the royal family, or they are going to refuse to attend the coronation. Harry claimed that he does want a relationship with his brother and his father, but they have to apologize first. I mean, have you ever had somebody say that to you and actually succeed? Did that actually make you want to apologize to them? Probably not. Ultimatums never work, and anybody with any sense says F you when they hear an. At some point, the person being punished puts up a wall, and they don't want to be heard anymore. If King Charles cannot enjoy a relationship with Harry's children, then he's just going to invest more time into William's kids. And the resentment is only going to fester. Nathan and Harry have already announced to the entire world that the royal family is so out of touch that they've got unconscious bias, and they leak negative stories about Meghan, Harry, to the media. So what in the world do you think they are telling those children if the children are real? Of course. It's important for King Charles to compartmentalize the feelings that he's got for those children so that he cannot allow himself to be manipulated by the gruesome tuition. At some point, the children are going to grow up and they're going to wonder what their grandfather was like. And I'm afraid that he's going to be dead by the time they reach adulthood. So who is going to be filled with resentment at that point? I know I wouldn't be happy about being in line to the throne, and my parents moved me to the US. Where titles don't even matter, and insisted that I be referred to as prince or princess, and making themselves outcast. They have also made their children outcasts. I mean, Harry is so disgusting. He has to miss a noble life that he could have had in the UK. Through his contributions as a working royal. And why is he still referring to himself as spare when most people love having older siblings? Those children are going to become teenagers eventually. And I'm afraid they're going to be really messed up people. And we all know who will be to blame in that situation. Again, if they're real, the kids one day will reach the age where their parents cannot trick them anymore. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if one day Archie and Lily tried to reach out and contact their grandfather, the king. It is pretty difficult to keep teenagers in the dark. They get really smart, really fast. Trust me. I know. And if Meghan and Harry continue to insist that people have to address those invisible kids as prince and princess, those kids are going to have a very difficult time. I mean, I can just see it now. By about middle school, the mocking could be fierce, and nobody can predict what the internet is going to be like in about a decade. I would assume that everything, and I mean everything about their parents, might be pretty accessible, even things that Meghan tried to scrub. Harry should feel proud of his family. He should feel proud that his older brother is next in line to the throne after his father. This is just common sense. It is British tradition, and it's been followed for centuries. It's still difficult to believe how Harry has been so embedded with the qualities of a traitor. Where did it come from? Ultimatums never work. Now, supposedly, it has been announced that only working royals are going to be on the balcony. Now, supposedly, Meg and Harry requested that they be up there, too. I don't think we're going to see any apologies coming. And why in the world would they talk about artificial birthday during the coronation? It doesn't have a thing to do with anything. I do hope that Meghan and Harry will stay home in California, but at the same time, I don't know if Meg is going to be able to miss an opportunity to be on the world stage. So I suspect they will show up. Meanwhile, the king is just minding his own business, and the Prince of Wales is doing the same. And really, everybody involved in the many aspects and details required for the coronation, I don't even think that Archie LILI better on his mind right now at this point. I'm also not sure whether His Majesty, the King, even cares whether or not the gruesome tuition show up with or without those invisible kids. In fact, I think he's probably decided they're a lot more trouble than they're worth. The fact is, King Charles is a very intelligent man. So if Harry and Meghan really are using the children as some kind of carrot, they can dangle out in front of King Charles as a way to get what they want. They're probably not going to be successful. And it's not because it doesn't bother him. I'm sure that it does. But he understands that he has to accept things that he cannot change if he gives in to them. It's never going to end. He really should start, as he means to go on with those two. We also need to remember that King Charles has other grandkids whom he loves and adores, and they love and adore him, too. I mean, Louis loves him to bits and Charlotte loves him, too, and Camilla as well. So there are plenty of grandchildren. Harry and Meghan are playing a very stupid game indeed. And so, I'm afraid they're going to win a stupid prize. And according to royal expert Miss Angela Levin, the king's concerns are for the mental health of his son, who is appearing increasingly deranged. He has never met reported children, is never likely to, has no relationship with them and must by now be very well aware that they do not exist. This is a Meghan Markle thing. She has manipulated and tormented her own parents for decades, alternately giving and removing the privilege of her own presence in their lives. And sure, she is a spoiled brat. She seems unaware that not all families work in this dynamic. So I believe that King Charles is going to go easy on his younger son because he is concerned about tipping him over the edge. Harry is quite happy to admit to using illicit drugs and even seems to be advocating for their use for mental health disorders and being a chief impact officer for Better Up. So the risk of him accidentally overdosing is high. She goes on to say, while I doubt if the markle is not being allowed on the Buckingham Palace balcony with tip has no over the edge, perhaps not inviting him to the coronation would better to leave it up to the heartless if they wish to attend the coronation or not. Now that their demands are not being met, perhaps they will stay home and watch it on TV, or perhaps Hasno will take up the ludicrous offer to make millions by commenting on the coronation for NBC or ABC. After all, he does not have the skills required, but he could get to mention that it is Archie's birthday. What else could the ginger winger say? There is the king, my father, walking down the aisle of Westminster Abbey, or there is the Queen, Queen Diana. Oops, sorry, Camilla, the wicked stepmother walking behind the king. NBC or ABC will not get their money's worth. Somebody had better have their finger on the kill button. Meghan would be salivating at the thought of commentating on the coronation for the live coverage by NBC or ABC. Alas, the position hasn't been offered to her. It wasn't offered to her because she knows nothing about the monarchy and wouldn't be able to do the job. Harry doesn't seem to know much either, but they are assuming he must have learned about it while he was growing. I just hope that